All right, guys, what's going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you, and I'm here live to give you guys my live review of WWE Extreme Rules 2018, which of course took place on this day. Well, technically, yesterday it's past midnight now, on July 15th, 2018, in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at PPG Paints Arena. I'm talking a little soft tonight because I don't want to wake up my sister. So, I mean, I do have some things definitely want to rant about this show about. But overall, if you guys are probably wondering, did I have a good time? Did I feel this was a waste of time? Was this not worth the $95 I paid to go see the show? Overall, I do understand why people did not enjoy this pay-per-view because, I've talked about this plenty of times with several of my friends. Gimmick pay-per-views are not always a great idea, especially the Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell, TLC. A gimmick match does not need to be named after a pay-per-view because it takes away from the value of the match. This show, we had an Extreme Rules match that was part of a feud that didn't even be Extreme Rules. We had a nice little spot there in the steel cage match also, but what was the point of this being considered? What am I going to say here? How is this pay-per-view extreme? If you take that off of it, this wasn't a bad show. I still personally think this was, even though it wasn't that extreme, it was still a decent show to sit through, decent to solid. I thought, for the most part, there's only one match on the show I can say I did not enjoy, which I'll get to that in a little bit. And then of course I got to rant about that main event, and it wasn't because of the match, it was because people involved in the match. It's because of us. And when we talk about us, I'm referring to the Pittsburgh crowd. And to all my viewers, all my fans, from a Pittsburgh fan, I want to say I am sorry that we put you guys through this. Again, I was not one of the people getting behind those countdown chants and whatnot, but it was just so annoying. I was it took me out of the match. It's like watching a TV show and someone's trying to talk to you all the time and you can't focus. I couldn't focus on the match because I was, oh man. But overall, I didn't think the show was a waste of money. I did not. I think it was not a show I want to go back and watch again. But for the most part, I thought it was worth the money I did. So I do not regret going to Extreme Rules 2018. I don't. It was a good show to sit through. What I liked about the show also is that the fact I felt the card was structured properly. It didn't have a big mega match in the middle of the show and then all these filler matches afterwards that you couldn't get behind them and it just burned you out. No, I didn't feel burnt out. I felt the show was built at a nice, steady pace. And so yeah, overall, I'd say it was worth it, and I don't regret going. So before I get into the review again, I'm probably going to fly through this because I gotta get up early tomorrow morning. But let's check the live chat first to see who is all in the live chat, and it looks like we just have to just Dakota. Lashley versus Roman, he thought was the best match of the night. Rusev looked strong with the beat also. Shouldn't Rollins have won the title through DQ since McIntyre interfered and he was banned from ringside? He wasn't true still, but he didn't attack him or anything when he came back out though. Tomorrow Ziggler should come out and say he is the best ever, and Angle comes out and says if you think that Star's going to defend a title in a gauntlet match, starting the match first, okay, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. The Raw tag title's a joke now. I'm not completely upset the B team won. I mean, I think I think they look stupid in beating the leaders of the world. So I mean, I'm interested in see where it goes from this. I'm not completely upset about that. Tuesday, Orton will accidentally cost Nakamura the title, and then Jeff will retain against Nakamura on Tuesday, and then feud with Orton for the US title. Could be, or it could be a triple threat match at SummerSlam possibly. The crowd crapped on the pay-per-view too much, and Orton didn't get a pop, although he actually got booed when he hit Jeff in the crotch. He gave it a B-. Lash versus Reigns, Ziggler versus Rollins were the highest rated matches of the night, and Orton heel turn got a B+ also. I figured he was going to RKO Jeff and not hit him in the nuts. I feel bad for Jeff. I definitely I'm a little worried about Jeff. It seems like he has been have a lot of nagging injuries lately. I'm starting to wonder maybe he's starting to deteriorate. His nuts had a family. It did, and AJ should have been in the main event because of the screwy finish. Could have been, yeah, but I mean, I'll get into that later. They are renaming TLC and Hell in a Cell. TLC is going to be Halloween Havoc, and Hell in a Cell is going to be Starrcade, which had the WrestleMania at WCW back in the day, so it will be built like Mania. See, 30-10 counts got bad. Not your fault though. Yeah, I was just so annoyed by that. The B team should have not won. Who can feud with them now? There isn't many tag face teams on Raw. True. We'll see what happens though. Yeah, I know there's a turn left for Orb, but I'm not going to do it tonight because I gotta get up early tomorrow, son. But anyways, let's get into this review again. I'm going to just kind of fly through this because I gotta get up early tomorrow. But so we had 2 kickoff show matches. Didn't get to see either one of them. Well, I saw the end to the Sanity and New Day one because I got there right when the New Day were making their entrance. So I didn't get to see the whole thing with the kid getting pancake stumped on him or whatnot. But apparently, Almas won the rematch from Tuesday against Sin Cara. Cool, I guess. I mean, it's hopefully he's making Andrade look a big deal. And then Sanity beat the New Day in a tables match. Excellent as well. Didn't get to see him, so I can't really judge them. We kicked off with the Raw Tag Team title match. It was the Leader of Worlds taking on the B team. And just again, it's a big surprise. The B team won. I know some of the matches that the B team had in their victories, it did kind of look like sloppy. But this one I didn't feel like it wasn't anything spectacular, but it didn't make the B team or the Leaders of Worlds look complete jokes either. I mean, yes, it was a mishap happened with Hardy running into Wyatt, which led to I think it was Axel hitting his finisher or Dallas one of the two hitting the finisher on Matt to get the pinfall victory. And again, I know the B team, they were just jobbers pretty much as the Miz Taraj. But I mean, I do appreciate the fact that yes, they're being booked to look like guys who just look like they don't know what they're doing, but they're still getting wins in some ways. And I think it's working in a way, and it's entertaining in some ways. So I'm not completely. I understand. The tag team depth on Raw it sucks. There really isn't any other babyface tag teams I could think of other than the what am I thinking of? Beauty and the Man Beast. But again, I'm not completely against the B team being tag champions. Getting Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I'm definitely always been supportive of them getting more opportunities than they've been getting. So I mean, I feel like we'll see where it goes. So not completely upset about the B team winning, so I'm fine with that. But so the match again was nothing special, just average, decent. So that's what we got there for that match. We had this backstage segment, which of course I know made a lot of people's nights. Kurt Angle's being interviewed, mentions that if Brock Lesnar doesn't show up on Raw tomorrow and comes to terms on his next title defense since he can show up at UFC, then he's going to strip him of the Universal Championship, which I'm like, awesome, because we're probably going to at least get a match with Brock at SummerSlam, or he could be getting stripped the Universal title. Thank God that's happening. Even though it would be nice to see somebody beat Brock to win that championship and not just defeat someone else in a triple threat, which would be stupid. So yeah, I'm looking forward to definitely seeing what goes on with that tomorrow. We have Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. Balor won by pinfall. I mean, the match, I liked it. I mean, I kept saying how I felt like this match didn't feel like it was being built up like a pay-per-view match. Again, it just felt like a match I could have main evented Raw or something like that, if you know what I mean. I thought Balor and Corbin went in there, put on a good match, enjoyable to sit through, nothing terrible, but I thought it was good for what it was. Balor though, 7 with a coup de grace, 1 with a schoolboy roll up and whatnot to defeat Corbin, which I was okay with. To give have Balor look strong and have Corbin still being built up as a powerful authority figure, pretty much. So wasn't completely upset about that either. So Balor defeated Corbin clean with a schoolboy roll up. I'll talk about one more match before I get to the live chat again. Again, I'm just trying to kind of find this. I can get up early tomorrow. We had an attack backstage with the Bludgeon Brothers attacking Team Hell No backstage, and looked pretty of a nasty beatdown. And they even took out Kane's leg, hitting him with a sledgehammer right in the knee, which hurt pretty badly. So it probably put, you know, the status of Kane up in jeopardy for the SmackDown tag team division. He thought, oh, what if they'll go a different round, put somebody else in Kane's place? Who would it be? Not sure, but we had that. And this is the only match I can say I definitely did not enjoy. The SmackDown Live Women's Championship match. Carmella taking on Asuka with James Ellsworth in a shark cage. Seems like for the past 2 years, there's always one match that's just going to make one women's match that's going to make someone look absolutely terrible at Extreme Rules. Last year was Bayley. This year it's Asuka. I mean, last year, at least to get Alexa Bliss can wrestle. She's going to microphone. I mean, Carmella has the mic skills, but she's shown nothing as a wrestler since being champion. You know, I like Carmella, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I think I've mentioned, you know, my previous streams, you know, Carmella obviously, you know, has shown she has shown, like, at the beginning of her main roster run, she had potential as a wrestler. You know, I liked her Code of Silence finisher and a few other things she did, but ever since became champion, she barely even wrestles at all. And then James Ellsworth somehow picked the lock or something like that, and he starts hanging from the shark cage. And Asuka, instead of just focusing on Carmella, even though, you know, Ellsworth he's out of the cage, he's stuck there. So instead of just beating up Ellsworth, I mean, instead of just focusing on Carmella, she just starts beating the crap out of Ellsworth like he's a piñata hanging from the shark cage. And then Carmella just sneaks up from behind Asuka and just pushes Asuka right into the shark cage, which was, why was it as low as it was? It should have been higher than it was. Like, they kept it so low, or it might have been just me. But yeah, Asuka's pushed into the shark cage, and that's what causes Carmella to win. And then afterwards, Asuka goes nuts and just beats the shit out of James Ellsworth. Pretty much, it did nothing for her. Literally, I was fine with Asuka losing at WrestleMania because, as I said before, you know, maybe get the loss out of the way, you know, because once Asuka would lose eventually, then she'd be done. Like, you know, what else would there really be for her, since, you know, she's been built up to be all about nothing but winning. She beat pretty much everybody on Raw. I mean, she never really faced Becky Lynch or a few others on SmackDown, but I know she probably could have beaten them. And now she has, you know, she's feuding with Carmella, and just, it's not just like, you know, cheap distractions that are just making her lose. It's making her look stupid. Like, how did she not? With someone as wise as Asuka, for winning all the matches she did, she should know that, you know, hey, she can come sneak up behind me whenever she can. Like, Carmella's like sitting there in the corner, and Asuka goes there, and she's just so focused on beating the shit out of Ellsworth. To me, this is a contender for worst matches of the year. I feel like so far, it's either this match or the Raw tag title match at WrestleMania 34. I'm sorry, no offense to Nicholas, but that just made it just showed, as a coach, it just made the Raw tag team match look like even more of a joke. It wasn't taken seriously. Yeah, it wasn't even anything. But let's check the live chat really quick. Let's see. Do you know Baldy? I don't know who you're talking about. I think Orton didn't turn heel. I think he was one-upping Shinsuke, and he is a tweener. I mean, that could be the case. I'm not sure. That's why I might wait till Tuesday just to see for sure. I mean, then again, him and Hardy do kind of have some unfinished business, I felt. So I'm not 100% sure, but it kind of looked like a heel turn, but I wasn't sure for sure. It just looked weak the way he did it. The last versus Reigns surprise we saw, I think it was a heel turn for Orton. I didn't watch it. Almost should have lost. Vega cost Sin Cara. Put the IC title match was the right one to end the show. It was, except for the crowd reaction. Almost isn't ready to lose yet. I agree. Matt Hardy is getting pinned a lot, and not really. His Son Lashley and Reigns and Styles and Rusev were better matches than the IC title, he thought. I didn't watch Extreme Rules. I came to this review to ask Mike a few things. Okay. Slater and Rhino, Cruz, and Titus and American Alpha are face teams if they reunite. That's true. We got them. Don't forget to eat a lot of ice cream for Raw, Mike. Geez. What happened to Slater and Rhino? Barely being used. The pay-per-view was decent. SummerSlam will be good. Hope so. What WWE thumbnail will you use for this review? Not too sure. Maybe something from Reigns and Lashley. Maybe, I'm not sure. That KO spot was sucked through the table. We'll talk about that shortly. Do you prefer in general the face character or the heel character? Kane is legitimately hurt. Oh, geez, that would be awful. What do you mean, son? We will get Becky versus Mel at SummerSlam, probably. I hope we get that. I think Asuka's done with it. Or needs to be a heel. I agree. I do agree. I don't know. I just feel like there's more to book him as a tweener, though. I'd say, but I definitely agree. Orton's much better as a heel. Carmella keep the title until at least SummerSlam, but she can also defend beyond. That is true. They wrote KO off TV for a little bit. He may return as a face. Would be interesting if he does. It's time to say the modern day Mela Raja. Nah, I would still much rather have Carmella be champion than Jinder. The shark cage was too low. It was Carmella caramel ice cream. Shout out to Robbie. Asuka did look weak. Definitely looked stupid. I thought # Robbie. Mel has had all the worst matches of the year. Why aren't you talking about Baldy? Who is Baldy? Oh, are you talking about Corbin, I guess? I'm not sure. I asked, do you prefer face or heel? Anyways, continuing on with the review. Thanks for stuff in the live chat, guys. So, yeah, then we have the United States Championship match. Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It was pretty much a squash match, but I thought it was effective because before the match started, Hardy had his back turned to Nakamura, and Nakamura hit a low blow on Hardy, and then when the bell rang, Nakamura hit a Kinshasa on him to get the win. Make Nakamura kind of a little sneaky and getting the win also, so he didn't look weak in the win, but I thought it was an effective looking squash match. I thought. Nakamura gets a title, which I thought, he needed more than Jeff. I mean, I'm a little worried about Jeff. I've heard he's had some nagging injuries, and I'm hoping he's not just like, his body's not just deteriorating towards the end of his career or whatnot. So Nakamura wins the match. Afterwards, though, we talked about this briefly already. Randy Orton returned. He came down and he stared down Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm thinking, okay, a Nakamura-Orton match at SummerSlam would be a bad idea. But then something felt like, wasn't done yet. So he stayed on Nakamura, but then he just grabs Hardy and just like grabs his and spreads his legs, and he just kicks him in the nuts. I was like, okay, if they were trying to if they're trying to turn Orton heel, I thought they would do like an RKO or something like that on Hardy out of nowhere, just to start doing a vicious beatdown. He just kicked him in the nuts. Like, it just looked. Again, I'm gonna wait till Tuesday to see for sure. But if it was a heel turn, I felt it was a kind of a weak beatdown for like an Orton heel turn. Or an Orton's heel, he's flat out dangerous and goes all out. I feel so. I would like that a little bit better, but I thought it was still effective for what it was. Again, it made Shinsuke look strong. I felt, and Orton, the Orton return was nice also. I enjoyed that. So we had that. We had the steel cage match. Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens inside a steel cage match. This match, despite the fact the finish was weird because Strowman pretty much let Owens win the match because he threw him out of the cage. But in some ways, I feel like that's the route it should have gone because although I stick up the fact that I like Braun Strowman. I do want him to get around the Universal title. I do agree though that they do kind of book him a little too strong, because when they do book him strong, you think, okay, this guy's a limit for him, and then when they they have to cut him off pretty much, it just makes the company look flat. And I felt like this feud with Owens, yes, I get it probably happened because Owens have been trying to team up, gang up on Strowman for how many weeks, and this is pretty much just Strowman getting his revenge on Owens. But every week, it's like Strowman came out on top. Like, Owens never outdid Strowman. And this match, I felt it was going to be one of the typical matches. Again, it felt like an angle, but I think it was a fun and effective angle. Strowman was, Owens was trying to escape the cage, whenever he could by any means necessary. And then Strowman was just throwing him around the cage. So it's like he just wanted to punish him. He wanted to hurt Owens and just punish him. and he threw him to the cage, and then Owens, tried to outsmart him by handcuffing him, beat him down a little bit before he taking his time to escape. But of course, Strowman ripped off the handcuff and climbs to the top of the cage with Owens. And the match ended when Owens was thrown off the top of the cage, and he landed on an announce table. And he was taken out, of course, on a stretcher and whatnot. But it was effective. Yes, it was weird that Strowman was just like pretty much just let Owens win the match by throwing him out of the cage. But it felt like an angle, and it was effective, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It got extreme, as something on the show had to get extreme, in my honest opinion. But yeah, so Owens wins by escape, but probably going to be written off the show. Funny thing was, though, when I arrived at Extreme Rules with my friend, and we're walking to PPG Paints Arena from the parking garage, we saw some guy walking down the street in an umbrella wearing a Kevin Owens shirt, and he looked a lot like Kevin Owens. I'm not even joking. It wasn't him for real, because afterwards I saw him again, driving out of the parking garage in his car, and obviously Kevin Owens would not be driving, coming out of just some random parking garage. It wasn't the real Kevin Owens, but the guy looked a lot like him. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so Owens wins by escape, but not sure how long he'll probably be out for, if they're just to write him off. And then we had the SmackDown Tag Title match. The Bludgeon Brothers taking on Team Hell No. I thought maybe they'll bring out some type of surprise or something like that, since Kane, was kind of if he really is legitimately injured, he was kind of being written off with the injury or whatnot. But so it started off with just a 2-on-1 handicap match, Daniel Bryan and Bludgeon Brothers. And Bryan was in survival mode. And I thought the match was fine. He was doing a good job, just handling the match, as he could, since Kane's hurt. And then Kane ended up coming out wearing a boot. He tagged himself into the match, and slow offense in there. Bryan got in there, and yes, there was a mishap there, and Bryan, ran into Kane, who was sitting in the corner, injured and whatnot, and then Bryan gets taken out by Harper and Rowan at the end. I shouldn't say the match was bad, but it was weird. Again, it just felt like, yes, I get that Kane's probably injured in real life, but what was the point, I felt, of trying to write him off with an injury? I felt like it created that if the beatdown we had earlier felt kind of pointless, because it just brought out Kane to see persons look weak and help and cause him to lose the match, I thought. But what do I know? So yeah, average a decent match, could have been better. Just wondering what's next for Daniel Bryan and Team Hell No, if they're still going to be together. Bryan's going to be going on a singles, back to being just a single star again. We'll see, but either way, it was fun while it lasted. We had that. And then the match I thought was going to be the main event was next. Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. Now, here's the thing. A month ago, Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal, nobody wanted to see the match. Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, though, I was at least interested. I felt these guys could put on a good match if given the time. But of course, the crowd, everybody was just crapping on it right out of the gate, probably because everybody thought Roman was going to win. And then somebody threw a beach ball from the top tier of PPG Paints Arena. So we had a little bit of a beach ball thing going in the crowd during the match. I'm like, great. And I'll be real, I was disappointed. Some people pointed out on Twitter, the match, from a feud that the last segment involved a pull-apart brawl. These two probably should have been going at the beginning. The match did start off slow, but it did pick up as time went on. Of course, I like the finish, though, of course, as, Roman went for the spear. Before he could hit the spear, he got hit by a spear of his own from Bob himself. And Bobby Lashley, Mr. 15-2 in MMA, Roman claiming that was Lashley really done at all? Nothing. But that guy is 15-2. So, I was talking more mentioning how that they felt Lashley could get the win. I wanted to see Lashley win, but I had a bad feeling they were going to give it to Roman, but they gave it to Lashley. So my opinion is should be Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Of course, I'll try to find some way to weasel in Roman Reigns probably, but Lashley deserves this opportunity. He does. Again, I actually did enjoy the build between Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley, and the right person came out on top. Like Reigns, he didn't need any more momentum. Lashley, he came out of the feud with Sami Zayn. Yes, he treated Sami Zayn like he was a squash match, but I think the match between the two of them was good. Could have expected a little bit more from them, but I still enjoyed it, and I'm glad it was the main event. But to me, it worked. Lashley got over, and we're cool. So we had that match happen there. Let's check the live chat again. See what we got here. Baldy is an indie game. I've never heard of it before. Sorry, son. Faces. I hated the Extreme Rules match. Dakota said, "What match was your favorite?" My favorite match. Again, Lashley and Reigns wasn't bad. The main event was good except for the crowd hijacking. I personally say I really enjoyed the Styles and Rusev match. I'll get to that one shortly though. Shinsuke was the right man to win, definitely. We have Global Express saying hey. We have Lauren saying hi also. Dakota saying, do you think they wrote Strowman off of TV? I hope Lesnar shows up tomorrow and gets whipped by Lashley. I don't think they wrote off Strowman, but they probably may have written off Owens. Yeah, hopefully, Lesnar, or maybe Lesnar does not show up and they strip him of the title. I'll be cool with that also. What do you think about Orton's heel turn? Again, I thought, the way they did it was weak. Like, why did he just just grab Hardy, spread him out, and just him in the nuts like before getting Orton heel turn? I was hoping for like a bigger beatdown. But, again, I want to wait again until see till Tuesdays. I'm not sure if that's just, Orton having unfinished business with Hardy, or if it really was a full-on heel turn, or if it's just him just making a statement with Nakamura. I'm not sure. So I'm kind of leaning more towards a heel turn, but I'll give it till Tuesday and see what it is. Then I'll do the turn alert. I still don't like Jeff getting squashed. Do you think it would be under a dirty win for Shinsuke? Kind of, but he did it all himself, so not completely. Orton didn't get a pop. He got booed when he hit Jeff, though, didn't he? I mean, it was supposed to be a heel move, then probably, hopefully, we get a big feud between Jeff and Orton. I heard Ambrose may be on Raw tomorrow. That'd be awesome. I mean, I'm still going to predict maybe a triple threat match for the U.S. title at SummerSlam with Hardy, Orton, and Nakamura. That's what I'm going to predict. We'll see. Roman comes down, complains tomorrow, and asks for a rematch. What do you think of Lashley's spear out of nowhere? That spear was awesome. He probably will complain somehow about it. Can you say I was the uncrowned Universal Champion? It's like, Angle said recently also, you had your opportunities. It's time for you to move on. Exactly. So now it's Lashley's turn right now, him or Strowman's, pretty much. It sounded like the crowd went crazy when Roman lost. Oh yeah, we all loved it. Yeah, he wrote off KO. It's all right. Yeah, but we got that there. Again, sorry I'm flying through this. I get Roy tomorrow. So we had that. Let's talk about the Extreme Rules match between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. So the match itself was what I expected. We had some weapon use. We had interference from Ronda Rousey. I didn't know that Natalya was going to be in Nia Jax's corner, which I feel in some ways kind of made sense of the fact that, there had to be a reason for Ronda to come in from the crowd to get involved in the match. Because why would she get involved? Why would she save, Nia Jax from the match? I mean, it would just, to me, it would just look like Ronda looks stupid, I feel. So having Natty out there, which Natty's supposed to be Ronda's best friend, made sense. I mean, yeah, we had some weapon use with, a little bit of a kendo stick. Some chair shots just didn't look too strong, and then a little bit with garbage cans. We had a spot at the beginning where, Alexa was trying to fire all weapons at Nia, but Nia kept just stopping them. So I didn't really expect much in this Extreme Rules match. The biggest problem I had with this match, though, was when Ronda interfered, because it's not Ronda interfering. She came in and she beat down Mickie James. She beat her down pretty bad, and she's the type of angle slam looking like move on Mickie, and it looked like she beat her down pretty good. She goes to grab Alexa, who's trying to run away from Ronda, And all of a sudden, Mickey is back up, no sold any of that beatdown at all, and starts attacking Ronda again, which eventually sets up Bliss hitting the DDT on Nia Jax on a steel chair to get the victory. So again, the match, I didn't expect much from it. Wasn't terrible. It was passable. But again, this feud didn't need to be an Extreme Rules match for a third match. Definitely not. I mean, I would have rather seen a steel cage match maybe for this, but yeah, I mean, that's, it did need to be Extreme Rules. And then, so we're probably getting Ronda and Alexa at SummerSlam, which, I'm cool with that. But yeah, I just didn't really like how Mickey no-sold Ronda pretty much, and it was, took a beating from Ronda, but then she's able to give 2 seconds later here with a kendo stick like nothing happened. I didn't like that. That was not good selling at all there. So that was that. Alexa was retained. This WWE Championship match between AJ Styles and Rusev, I really liked this match. I didn't expect Rusev to win, but all I asked for was just a good match and make Rusev look strong and not like an idiot. And, for the most part, I felt they succeeded. They had Rusev, gain some upper hands on Styles, Aiden English being a ringside for Rusev, tried to, help him out a few times, removing the turnbuckle, which that backfired and led to the end of the match. Trying to think what else we had really in this match. We had Styles kind of weakened the leg of Rusev in the calf crusher, but we had Rusev fighting to get him in the accolade and whatnot. Some good back and forth action and moments, some near falls that looked like Rusev may look like he would take the WWE Championship off of AJ Styles. Did not happen though, as Rusev eventually would run into the exposed turnbuckle that Aiden English exposed, and then at first Styles hit a 450 splash on Rusev, but that wasn't enough, which I was happy he kicked that out again to make Rusev look strong. He took out Aiden English. Well, Styles took out Aiden English. Then he sets up for a phenomenal forearm and hits Rusev with the phenomenal forearm to retain a championship. Like I said, they made Rusev look strong, I felt, in this match. I mean, he lost, but he lost looking strong, and I was happy with it. To me, one of the better matches of the night, I felt. And maybe my favorite match of the night, Rusev and AJ Styles for the championship. It was Rusev's first opportunity for the world title, and despite not winning, I felt he came up looking strong in the loss. Anyways, that's why I asked for. I was happy with the match. Then we got our main event. It was Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship in a 30-minute Iron Man match. This is the match I was probably the most excited for, and I thought it could have been a show stealer. But of course, as I talked about at the beginning of this video, it didn't quite live up the hype. It's not Rollins and Ziggler's fault. They did pretty good together. The match started with Rollins going up 2-0 before Drew McIntyre attacked him, getting disqualified, and added a third point to Rollins, make it 3-0. And because of that, McIntyre got ejected from ringside, but due to the beatdown, Ziggler took advantage and immediately got a couple pinfalls on him. And eventually even the score back up. And then he took the lead. Rollins would tie with just a few minutes left. Of course, as I said before, the story was, and again, I apologize for this video, that my hometown crowd was just so selfish and cared about themselves. And this goes back to the fact, we actually got a main event match we wanted with two guys we wanted in the main event, Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, who, both had, plenty of handful of matches, on Raw or SmackDown. And we seem to get a pay-per-view match, and it's a 30-man Intercontinental Championship Iron Man match. It's what we wanted, but then the crowd just be complete idiots. Counting down his head every single minute that they got so bad that they literally shut off the clock for about 10 minutes. I was so annoyed. It was worse than how the crowd was when they introduced the Universal Championship and they crapped on Balor and Rollins, which they still put on a pretty good match there too. But this was ridiculous. Every minute. And when the clock was off, it was every 30 seconds we heard them counting down. Just be funny. It wasn't funny. It was annoying again. It took me out of the match, a match that I have been looking forward to seeing for weeks, especially all day. Also, that's why I wore my Burn It Down shirt tonight, because I really thought that they were going to steal the show. Match is still good, but again, kind of took you out of the element a little bit because we were annoying. What I felt weird was the fact that when the match took place, then it finishes with a 4-4 tie. I thought, all Iron Man matches go to sudden death, but all of a sudden, no, we're going to end this one in a draw. The inconsistency of the rules once again. But Kurt Angle comes out, probably just to give Kurt an excuse to come out in his hometown. He says, no, this is going to be sudden death. The first fall wins. But then from behind, McIntyre came out, distracted Rollins, and Ziggler was able to hit a zigzag on him to get the victory and win the Iron Man match 5-4. I really thought we were going to get either Dean Ambrose or Jason Jordan returning to cost Rollins the match. Did not happen, so we'll see what happens. We have a couple of weeks now that we're on the road to SummerSlam, which we had some stuff, obviously being planted on this show tonight. So we'll see what happens as we're out on the road to SummerSlam and with Extreme Rules in our rearview mirror. Again, I will say overall, this pay-per-view was not a complete flop. It was not a complete waste of time for me. I don't regret going. Again, it's not a pay-per-view. I'll go back and watch again, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. Didn't feel burned out or anything. Again, the problem also is the fact that it's Extreme Rules, but it never really felt it was that extreme. You know what I mean? But let's go to the polls. Let's see what the votes. We have 17 votes. What grade would you give Extreme Rules? Nobody said A. 6% said B. 41% said C, and 53% said D or lower. Personally, again, I was going to give this show like a really low B- because the fact that the matches were fine. Again, the only match I did not enjoy was the SmackDown Women's Championship match. That was awful. Everything else was like at least average, and then good or great, pretty much. But again, with this pay-per-view being called Extreme Rules, and nothing really was that extreme, it kind of hurt my grade a little bit. That's why I give it a C+. A C+ for Extreme Rules 2018. Before I check the live chat, as always, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. What grade would you give Extreme Rules matches did you enjoy the most? Be sure to click my like and subscribe on the channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirborne93, and also your thoughts also on the hijacking in the main event with the whole thing with the clock. So let's check the live chat before we go off. Sounded like right. What if Roman sucker punches Lashley and turns heel? Would be awesome. Alexa actually took a bump on the garbage can. Yeah, that was a good one. Didn't the crowd chant "Let's go Roman"? Roman sucks. They did. What made no sense was why did Rusev kick out of the Springboard 450 splash and then gets up and gets hit by a forearm for the loss? I mean, just probably just making him look like a little bit more stronger. I was fine with that. Did you hear the commentators say AJ Styles is the longest reigning WWE champion in the last 5 years? Nope, I didn't hear that because commentary is not live when you're at a live event. Pittsburgh is the most annoying crowd ever, but not your fault, Mike. Completely understand. Your crowd cheered for the shitty matches. Yeah, we are usually a bad crowd. Rollins should have won the title by DQ because McIntyre was banned from ringside. True, but he didn't actually attack him though when he came back out. The Drew thing should have been more than 1 point because he assaulted him after, and they gave Rollins the point. So it should have been another point for the Claymore since he was told to leave and continue the assault. That is true. I felt they probably could have, penalized, Ziggler a little bit more with McIntyre's involvement. I don't know if this is going to be set up for the match between Rollins and McIntyre for SummerSlam. Maybe they didn't have a bad match on Raw last week, so maybe this is a feud for McIntyre as a single star. But if that's the case, I'm not sure what's next for Dolph Ziggler. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Dean will return. They'll have a tag match at SummerSlam, and that's when Ambrose will turn heel on Rollins or whatnot. Maybe we will wait and see what happens. He was banned and he can't come back to ringside. Period, or it's a disqualification. That is true. I don't know. They're always changing the rules randomly. I don't know what it is. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining. And then again, I'm going to check out now because I'm tired. I gotta get up early tomorrow morning. Sorry this review was rushed, but again, thank you guys again for joining me live for this live Extreme Rules review. Again, I didn't regret going to the show. I thought it was fun. Again, the show could have been better. I get it, but it wasn't a complete waste of time either. Like Roadblock End of the Line was in 2016. Of course, I don't know when my next WWE live event will be because the next one is the holiday, live event tour, which nothing really that special. I'm probably going to be doing something for holidays anyway. So maybe next year we'll see what it is, but it's probably going to be my only WWE live event this year. Is Extreme Rules 2018. So, yep, I thought it was worth it. So once again, guys, C+ for Extreme Rules. What grade would you give Extreme Rules? Your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to click buy, like, and subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter at TheManError93. I'll see you guys sometime tomorrow night for my live review of Monday Night Raw as we are now on the road to SummerSlam 2018. So until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you guys all later. Have a great night and peace out, everybody.